All right. Good evening. Welcome to the City of Groton Committee of the Whole for Monday, June 23rd, 2025. Clerk Bakura, please call the roll.
Mayor Hedrick, Deputy Mayor Depot, Councilor Artali, Councilor Sheffield, and Councilor Piazza are present.
Okay. So we have a quorum. We'll call the meeting to order. All right, we have new business. The first one is Parks and Rec basketball court donation. Mary? Don't forget to turn the microphone on, or turn on the microphone.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Here today to have us accept our final donation of the MOU with the Connecticut Sun General Dynamics, that whole MOU that we did for the basketball courts. We got the $15,000 from General Dynamics Electric Boat about a week and a half ago. So I'm here for you to accept the donation.
Okay. I'll open the floor for discussion. Deputy Mayor Depot.
I just want to say, I know we have the MOU for the funds from the different groups, but you, as the director, had to organize this project and kind of be a point person for making sure it got done for the city. And it looks really good. Anyone who hasn't been down to the park, the basketball courts look awesome. And I just want to thank you for coordinating the whole thing. It really worked out great to work with these companies so that we didn't have to foot the whole bill, and we got better courts out of it. So I'm really excited for people to use them for the next many years. Thanks.
Okay, any other, Councilor Sheffield?
Yes, Mary, I see the 15,000 now. Is that on top of the Connecticut Sun for next year, or is that for a subsequent year by chance?
So this is actually a donation that came from General Dynamics Electric Boat. So in our MOU, we had $60,000, $45,000 came from Connecticut Sun, another $15,000 came from Build Submarines, and then we got this from General Dynamics Electric Boat. This is just a one-time donation. They have their names on the stanchions that hold the backboards up on the courts. We are anticipating another two more installments from the Connecticut Sun of $25,000.
Of course, another thing is that we had discussed as far as surveillance cameras for the courts. I was wondering whether any of that money could possibly use for at least surveillance for the basketball court, although the tennis court hasn't been discussed. But is that something we can also have Electric Boat or another company as far as a donation if we don't get grant money of some kind to for cameras for the basketball court?
It's always something that we can look into to see if there's any other funding out there so we could get the cameras back or installed at the park. Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Piazza?
Sorry, I was trying to find the raise your hand. Mary, were we getting, I know this is kind of off, I'm just wondering, like, as far as the monies, is this mixed in with monies like for the bathroom or the cameras for the bathroom happening, or they're not? I know we had talked about one time reference to the vandalism that had happened. I know it's separate, but I didn't know if that's in the same financial pot, or is it separate? That's happening, we're shifting it.
So in my budget that was approved back in early part of the month, I have money earmarked for the restrooms, pavilions, and that's a dollar amount that's specific for that project. And then we had the cameras in there, but that was removed. So we're trying to, ways to find access to some dollars so we can bring that back in, at least partially maybe in the park. But that's separate. That was removed from my budget. So I think when Councilor Sheffield talks about that, trying to find other ways to maybe get that back in so we can keep an eye on the courts and the park, because we have done quite a bit of improvements. But the restrooms and roof project is separate from the cameras and from the projects that we've completed right now.
Okay, forgive me if I didn't remember that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, just since we're off topic real quick, we're evaluating the use of cameras in the park and how we can fund the purchase of the cameras because of all the things that we've done in the park and because of the basketball courts and the popularity that they have. So that'll be a future discussion. Anything else on this donation? Okay, hearing none, I'll take a motion to move this to the mayor and council meeting of July 7th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. Okay, thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay, Public Works, Shore Ave Seawall, Heidi?
Good evening. So I am here to ask for the second phase of the continuation of the construction of the Shore Avenue seawall. I believe when I was here last, we talked about the funds that would be necessary for completing sections 1 through 6 of the seawall. We did approve at that time just over $3.2 million. We anticipated that those funds would allow us to construct sections 1, 2, and 6, which it looks like we are right on track with that. So I am now here as we are sort of coming to the end of that construction cycle, and we're hoping to stay ahead of it in order to avoid any additional mobilization costs. So the remaining funds to construct sections 3, 4, and 5 is approximately $3.4 million.
Okay, I'll open the floor for discussion. Deputy Mayor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is 3.4 on top of the 3.2 that we authorized already.
Yes.
Um,
I believe you had in your packet a draft proposal from Arborio, and that was the full proposal for sections 1 through 6. So we removed the 3.2 million plus, and the 3.4 is what is remaining.
So that puts us at 6.6.
About
And
6.6.
that will complete the seawall portion only. There's still some utilities, the rerouting of the force main and then the gravity main, and that will be covered. The utilities are going to be covering that.
Okay.
So this is for the seawall.
Okay, and then prior to so we're authorizing 3.4 now, we already did 3.2.
Yes.
And what was the number previous to that we incurred? Or was the 3.2 the total? Have we incurred more than that 6.6, or is that all we've incurred for the whole project?
No, we have incurred more than that 6.6. It was, so I believe it's the 4.1 million that was originally authorized to Arborio
Okay,
when the project started.
so the total, all told, now is 10.7,
For construction,
correct?
right.
Okay.
There are other costs, obviously, there's the engineering, there are the utilities, so there are some other costs out there.
And I believe that we got the grant application to
Yep.
the state for that potential funding, correct?
Yes.
And when do we expect to hear back on that? I think end of summer?
So I believe that the SIF board meets sometime in September.
Okay.
I can tell you that we did get some clarifying questions, so they are currently reviewing the applications.
Okay. And are we still on track to finish this construction season?
I believe so. I believe so. Obviously barring any unforeseen issues, the piles are going a little slower than we might have originally anticipated, but they are working extended hours and weekends to get those installed, so we can continue.
And the being finished means the road will be passable. correct? Like by the end of the construction season?
That I am not sure about. Again, it will be dependent on how quickly we can get all of these piles installed and then get the utilities out of the way, because there is, so in order to continue with the piles in sections 3, 4, and 5, we will encounter some utility conflicts there. So what we are hoping for is to have, worst case, is to have the wall constructed, and potentially depending on the time of year, because the asphalt plants do close at a certain point. If we pass that point, then we would have to come back early spring and finish the roadway itself. But otherwise, everything else will be constructed.
And the utilities that are in the way that we have to move, are we moving them or working around them? What are we doing again?
So we met this morning. We anticipate that we will have to move the gravity sewer closer to the golf course. So we'll move that a few feet east.
And did we anticipate that being a problem, or we didn't know, we weren't aware how close it was located?
So it became a problem with the design of
new
this new wall,
construction.
because the new wall is now approximately 13 feet deep. The original wall did not have that footprint.
So that's the reason we weren't prepared to have to move them?
Yes.
Thank you.
Counselor Sheffield.
Yes, Heidi, hi. Will this conclude, I guess, with the capital funds being used on this project, or do you anticipate additional capital funds down the line?
So I guess it would, and I'll defer to Ron on going into further detail on it, but I guess it would depend on when we get a response from the SIF board and DECD on whether those grant funds are going to be made available. If we are at a point in the project where it does look like we can complete the roadway construction, we may need to come back and ask for capital funds if we get to a point in the project where we would need that prior to a decision by the SIF board.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Sheffield, were you finished?
Yeah, good. Did you hear me?
No, what'd you say?
Oh,
Okay, thank you. Counselor Piazza?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to ask, when you say the previous wall wasn't the footprint of what it is now, so is that the thickness, I'm gonna say, or the depth of it, is that going toward the water or toward the road? Does that decrease the width of the road?
So the way the new design of the wall is, so it is actually going, it's actually going into the roadway. Because of our DEP permitting, we can't go any further into the water. So the water side face of the wall will remain where it is, and we'll be moving about 12 feet 9 inches into the roadway. But that structure will actually be underneath the asphalt.
Oh, I see, okay. And my other question was, so I know you said you weren't sure if it was the passable drivable, but you were saying there was issues with the piles. What particularly is the issues about getting them in? What's their obstacle?
So the pile system that they're using, because of the depths that they need to go, in order to ensure, safe construction site, they are going anywhere from 16 to 22 feet below grade, and they're doing 30-inch piles, which is much bigger than what they had done in the other sections. We're also trying to limit the vibrations down there. So, depending on the quality of the rock that they're hitting, they can go a little faster. If it's, good hard rock, it's a little bit of a slower go. So we are still anticipating a couple more weeks of pile driving.
ledge that they're dealing with, different, facets of the ledge, I guess.
Yep.
At different levels. Okay, thank you.
So, Councilor Piazza, to answer your question a little more directly, the width of the roadway should not be negatively impacted by this project. The road is still should be the same size
Right.
and same width, and will be passable. The bottom, the base of the new design is underneath, will go underneath the roadway itself. So we're having to excavate to put in and then backfill, and then the actual, we will have a passable shore Ave.
Right, I was thinking like if it's coming in more than a foot and a half still, that still has pretty wide area where you pass it, wouldn't really still be an issue anyway, but
Right.
thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, the width of the road itself, when it's fully constructed, will be exactly what it was previous.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, with that, I'll take a motion to move this to the mayor and council meeting of July 7th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
Okay, Groton Utilities Water Treatment Plant Filter Purchase. Joe, is that you?
Yes. Oops. Hi, I'm Joe Pratt. I'm from the Groton Utilities. I'm the manager of water and wastewater operations. I'm here just to get the action item approved for our granulated activated carbon. We have 4 tanks that we use in the DAF process to remove our TOCs and help with the odor and color of our water. In the last 2 years, we've come and been approved to replace 2 of the filters. This will be the 3rd one, and then next year we'll come back and do the 4th. What they do is they lose their capacity to treat the water. So we just try to stay on top of them. And that's about it, unless you have questions.
Okay. Open the floor for discussion. Deputy Mayor Depot.
So the price for this one is $137,000. Has that been the price historically?
That's been the price for the last 2. They've held the price this 3 years straight.
And do we expect them to do the same next year for us?
We're hoping to, yeah.
And
We-
what- oh,
We
sorry.
had talked before about getting a contract with
Mm-hmm.
them, but when they said that they would probably have to increase it each year, so it's better like that we do it this way. So far it has been. They've held the price for 3 years without any increase.
And how often do these need replacing?
We're trying to do 1 a year till we get the 4 done.
Right.
And then what we do is we test them twice a year to see how they're dropping. And after the 4th year, we're hoping we'll be able to at least skip a year or maybe 2 years, depending on the, how far they've lost their capacity to treat.
So like 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
If they
yeah.
last.
So if we do the 4, hopefully 2 years set, then do 4, and it'll just try to stay in that pattern.
Nice, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Councilor Piazza?
All right, for some reason I can't find the little hands.
No, I see your hand.
Oh, good evening. So on the carbon, when you're saying that they are expended basically, so is that by the water testing? Or is that by you have a filter system that you say, oh yes, the carbon is being spent here, we need to replace it? How does that go?
Well, what this carbon's job is to remove the organics, so it absorbs it, and once it gets absorbed so much, it can't absorb anymore. So we test it twice a year to make sure, and we can see as they gradually go down and down. And they say you should replace it at around 400, the number that they have. The 2 that we haven't replaced are around 5 something. So we're hoping to replace this one, and then the following year, and then we'll test them and stay on top of it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, hearing none. I'll take a motion to move this to the mayor and council meeting on July 7th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
thank you.
Joe.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mike.
Thank you.
And then the last thing, board and commissions reappointments. This is a reappointment for Jason Rusk on the Planning and Zoning Commission. He is currently on the Planning and Zoning Commission and wants to stay on the Planning and Zoning Commission. And the chair would like to keep him on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Deputy Mayor Depot.
I just want to thank Mr. Rusk for serving on this committee. I know, actually, I spoke to the clerk last week about how planning and zoning is a pretty intense, relatively committee, but a very important one that we need volunteers to be on. And I believe, Clerk Baker, we have vacancies on that committee, correct?
We do have one regular member vacancy and then some alternates, yes.
So if anyone is interested in helping planning and zoning, feel free to contact the clerk's office, because it's a very important committee. We can't operate without the planning and zoning committee because there are things that need to go through them. So again, just, for Mr. Rusk to serve another term is, I want to just appreciate that, him volunteering for that.
Yeah, statutorily, there are requirements that have to be met when things are brought to the commission. They're time-based. So you're right, we need to have volunteers. And we have openings, I think, in pretty much every board and commission. I mean, the boards and commissions are run by volunteers, and we really appreciate it, and we could use more people who are interested in moving the city forward. So, any other questions? Councilor Piazza.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to ask, I've looked on there because some people that I've talked to, I said, oh, you should join a board of commission or council, whatever. But is there, maybe I didn't want the link deep enough, but does it have qualifications, or is just you're interested in the harbor, the beach, the planning and zoning? Is there specific qualifications in order to volunteer?
Right, just if there's an interest, there is not a job description if that's what you're looking for. If you have an interest in any of the boards and commissions, you may have experience or you may not have experience, but if you have an interest, they can definitely use your opinion and you'll get involved. And if you're not 100% sure what that board or commission does, we can get you a write-up, but you will learn as you go. And it's a wonderful process to learn how the city of Groton works.
Yeah, I just had some people talking, and I was like, well, because they know the elections are coming up, and so forth. And, they said, well, who's going to run? I said, well, are you interested, and so forth. But just talking to them, I said, there's, I think they were concerned about the time commitment.
Sure.
But I said, well, there's plenty of boards and commissions and things that you can do for the city. There's a lot of things that you can be involved in. So I just wanted to direct them correctly. I told them to go onto the city of Groton website, gave that to them, but just in case they couldn't link, or they were asking me, oh, I didn't see what the requirements were. So I was like, oh, I'll look into it. So that's great. But thank you for the answer. I appreciate that.
And for the most part, boards and commissions, it's usually 1 hour a month. So they're not asking for a lot of time. Sometimes they meet, they have special meetings and things like that, but for the most part, boards and commissions are 1 hour a month. So, anything else? All right, I'll take a motion. I'm sorry, please, go ahead.
No, I just said thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
All right, anything else? That's it? All right, I'll take a motion to move this to the mayor and council meeting of July 7th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, we have, it passes unanimously, so that's good. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you all. And we'll see you on the 7th. Next Monday is the 5th Monday, so you have that off.
Well, we should see everyone for the 4th of July parade, though, right?
Oh, we should see everybody at the 4th of July parade. You're right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See, that didn't work, Gwen.